Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm going to be showing you 3 sketchbooks today. This first one we're going to call my Falling Out of Love with Art sketchbook. We'll get into the reason for that in a second, but first I just wanted to tell you that I think it's amazing the artists who can fill every page of a sketchbook with beautiful finished illustrations, and I think that's a miraculous thing to be able to achieve, but that's not usually how I use a sketchbook. There are a lot of half-finished things and really bad things, and I'm going to be highlighting some of my favorite things for you, but mostly I just try to treat my sketchbooks as a safe space to try things and to fail at things and to try the same thing over and over and over, and it's been kind of a process to get there. But so let's talk about this sketchbook a little bit. This was a sketchbook that I used in the high of my Instagram days when I was first getting into Instagram and really trying to post regularly and create interesting characters to share, and it got to be extraordinarily stressful and really to a point where I just quit. I quit on the internet and I quit drawing. So really this was a time when I was only drawing intermittently because I felt like I should, and right here there was a gap between this page and the next one of like 2 months where I just didn't draw, and it was really sad because I started to draw just for the sake of other people, and now after these 2 months I was trying to get back into doing art the way you do when like you're a kid and a teenager and you do it just because you love it, before you realize that you have to like learn anatomy and find an art style, and you draw just for the sake of drawing and you paint for the sake of painting. So I just started doing art for the sake of enjoyment and for the sake of doing it. So I started drawing my family and drawing for my family and studying other artists and copying just to learn, and doing things that when you feel like you have to share on the internet, it feels so stressful to take the time to do. And I don't know if, I'm sure other people have experienced this too. So if any of this rings a bell for you or sounds familiar, please do let me know, because it's always good, even when the world seems simultaneously bigger and smaller with the internet. It's good to know that we're not alone and that we go through similar struggles. That's the beauty of being able to share content like this. So at this point in the sketchbook, I was just taking advantage of opportunities to try new things like figure drawing and life drawing, and like I said, referencing other artists, and it was really enjoyable for the most part. But I found the struggle to be then that I didn't really know why I was making art. So I would draw things because I found joy in drawing, but I didn't really see its purpose. I didn't really see, like, what's the purpose of taking the time to do this in the long run? And in the back of my mind there was this twinkling idea that maybe I could pursue art as a career someday, but it seemed so impossible, and it felt like I was so far away from other artists that I could never actually get to a point of like professionally pursuing art. And of course that's silly because it just takes time and practice and skill, but you guys understand, there just feels like such a massive gap sometimes. And by the way, if my voiceover speaking is annoying, you're more than welcome to just shut it off and, you know, listen to your own music. Anyway, this is from my Skillshare class, my very first Skillshare class. This was a massive turning point for me. Oh my goodness. Getting to publish classes on Skillshare and share that with other people and help people learn things that I had struggled with learning. It's just been an incredible experience, and I'll leave a link to that if you want to check out any of those classes. That's been really fun. So yeah, we're almost to the end of this first sketchbook. I'm trying not to just talk for the sake of talking, but this was a good period of time, and this is also a period of time, curse you phone. This is also a period of time where I started using sketchbooks as scrap paper. So those last few pages are actually from like a very long variance of time. Anyway, wow, that sketchbook, I think that one covers a span of like really close to a year because I used it so intermittently. Sketchbook number 2, we're going to call my Learning to Love Art sketchbook. So this one is a Moleskine, and I loved this paper like right away. I don't really like the landscape format, which is great if you paint a lot of landscapes, but I really like to do characters and portraiture, so this was a little bit different for me, but I took the opportunity to learn the kinds of things that maybe you worry about posting on social media because you go, oh, it doesn't fit in with the style, or it's not not appealing, or it's not what people want to see, being characters. But I was just like, you know what? I want to draw a swan. I want to paint an animal. I want to just learn for the sake of learning instead of going, I have to be on the internet. So at this point, I still wasn't really using Instagram or posting any art on the internet. I was just drawing for myself, which was really important. But in the back of my mind, there was this itching feeling of wanting to share it with people, to help other people, because it's dumb the amount of heartache we can cause ourselves over pencils and paper, but it's really the expression of ideas and the portrayal of what's in our heads that's so valuable, I think, to artists. And yeah, so I was really feeling that during this time. I was really enjoying showing art or creating art, but I was always run around to the closest person I could find and try to show it to them. So this is when I decided that I was going to start using Instagram here and not be an internet addict, because oh man, that's dangerous. Guys, don't be addicted to the internet. That's like being addicted to drugs. Like, come on, just, go outside or do things in life. Anyway, if I'm not gonna talk about this sketchbook, you just didn't listen for a couple seconds. Oh look, there's shiny paint. Oh look. Sketchbook number 3 is Sketchbook number 3 is the one I just finished, and it's my Mosseri sketchbook, which you may have seen the review for. It's definitely been my favorite sketchbook to work in so far. Now, my sketchbooks won't include every piece I've ever done, just because I do things on watercolor paper or mix things around. But anyway, my sketchbooks are where my thoughts go and where quick things go, and yeah. Anyway, this is the sketchbook that I'm just about finishing up. I always like to save the last few pages in the sketchbook and just leave them blank. That way I have them to come back to for jotting down ideas, or to use as scrap paper for paint or color without doing that in another book or page. I don't know. I think it's fun to be able to jump around in sketchbooks and not have to hold yourself to like a rigid view. So you may recognize a few of these pieces from more recent videos. That's really what I've used them for. And a lot of this stuff too, if you want to see, you can check out Instagram as well, because I've been posting some of the stuff on there. And really my favorite thing about being an artist is actually the art community. So having the opportunity to talk with other artists and share art and draw things together and go through struggles together and encourage one another, that's infinitely more valuable than like any lines or color I could put on a piece of paper. So I'll be really interested to hear your guys' feedback, because really I think it's close to a year, maybe 10 months to a year of time from the very first sketchbook I showed you today to this one here at the end. So, and of course during this time I got my first Copic markers and things like that. But anyway, I'll be interested to hear if you can see any specific changes or similarities or improvements or anything like that. It's definitely been a long and oftentimes painful journey for me, but the joy of sharing art and creating art and learning new things and looking at something that you didn't know when you started that you would be able to create it, that's like invaluable. And I hope that this encourages you not to necessarily watch another video, but to make something yourself, because my sketchbooks are full of a lot of failures and a lot of mistakes and a lot of scribbles, but I think your mistakes can teach you more than your successes sometimes. So it's a little bit scary for me to put out this, what I would see as an imperfect sketchbook, out there on the internet and try to compare it to other people's quote-unquote perfect sketchbooks, but this is what I do and this is what I really enjoy, so I hope you guys can enjoy it too, and if you relate, that's fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys listen to the rest of this, and thank you. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for checking out blah blah gushy YouTube, like, share, subscribe, etc. Oh man, why do we have to, I understand it's like good to say this stuff at the end of a video, but we're not even at the end yet and I'm already tired of it. Anyway, really, thanks guys. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening if you listened, and have a wonderful day. It's beautiful out here today, so maybe go outside and draw something like a tree or a rock or a bush or a person, you know.